If you've never purchased a home, or maybe it's just been a while since your last real estate transaction, you may be wondering what earnest money is all about, or what is the purpose of these funds. Hi, I'm David Warren, real estate professional based in Seattle, Washington, here to answer your real estate related questions. Earnest money refers to a financial deposit provided by a buyer to demonstrate their seriousness and commitment to their offer. It serves as a form of security to the seller, indicating the buyer's good faith intention to proceed with the purchase. When a buyer expresses interest in acquiring a property, they make an offer. And along with that offer, the buyer often includes an offer of earnest money as a tangible demonstration of their intent to follow through with the purchase. The funds are typically deposited immediately after offer acceptance and escrow services have been opened, and the amount of money is usually a small percentage of the purchase price. Now, the actual percentage is obviously negotiable, but the seller will likely have some expectation of a certain dollar range or a percentage, just based on whatever the local custom is. The purpose of earnest money is twofold. Again, it provides the seller with a reassurance that the buyer is committed to the transaction and they have a genuine interest in purchasing the property, and they will conduct any due diligence in a timely manner. Second, earnest money acts as a form of financial protection for the seller in case the buyer fails to fulfill their contractual obligation. Once earnest money has been deposited, the seller has potential compensation if the buyer was to back out of the contract without a valid reason, or if they intentionally breach any term of the agreement. Earnest money deposit is typically held in a bank account. It's managed by a neutral third party, such as an escrow company, a real estate attorney, or in some cases, a real estate brokerage. This is to ensure that the funds are securely held until the completion of the transaction or until certain conditions specified in the purchase and sale agreement have been met. At the time of closing, the earnest money typically is applied toward the buyer's down payment. Now, if the buyer has the ability to purchase without requirement of a down payment, the earnest money could then be applied to their closing cost, or it could be reimbursed to the buyer at closing. In the event the buyer defaults on the agreement without a valid reason that's covered under the terms of the contract, the seller would then have a legitimate claim to keep the earnest money as compensation for their time, expenses, and lost opportunity of taking the property off the market while the buyer is conducting their due diligence. Earnest money also acts as compensation in case the property appears damaged in the eyes of other potential buyers, wondering why the home sale failed and now may be reluctant to consider the property. However, if the transaction is rescinded by the buyer based on a valid, active contingency that's specified in the contract, their buyer would have a claim to the earnest money and it would be returned. It is important to note that the specifics regarding earnest money, including any of the amount or terms of its return, can vary depending on local laws and regulations and specific provisions outlined in the agreement. So consulting with a real estate professional or legal counsel is advisable to ensure a clear understanding of the earnest money process and its potential implications specific to your real estate transaction. Again, I'm David Warren, Seattle-based real estate broker. I hope this information helped you in your understanding of the function and the purpose of earnest money so that your home purchase will go well. If you have a question, drop it in the comment section below. I'm always happy to help if I can.